This video provides an overview of the use of the commenting form. It's a template that's available to your secretary, and as a voting member of a committee, you'll use this form when commenting on a ballot item. So the secretary will fill this top part out. LB means letter ballot. They'll put the year, and then if this is the first ballot of the year, that would be 01, second ballot of 25 would be 02, etc. Put a ballot description and date in here, so all that'll be filled in for you if you're a voter. And then along with the commenting form, each time these instructions are included, so that I encourage you to read those each time, and I'm going to go through those briefly. Types of comments, this is an important one for you as a voter. There's affirmative, negative, and abstentions. So a comment is required if you vote negative. And that comment should address how you would propose to resolve that negative. If you abstain, you can comment, but you don't have to. And if you're voting affirmative, the comment's optional. If you vote a strict A on the website when you turn in your ballot, it won't ask you for a comment. If you vote AC, it's going to ask you for a comment. So what you're going to do is fill out your commenting spreadsheet here. This is provided in Word. This is going to sound picky, but don't change column widths or anything else. Just type directly in here. That has to do with how we do the secretary does the compiling. And if you just leave everything alone, that will make for the easiest compilation. So for each line, think of it as a separate item. So realize that when this is compiled, your individual rows in this spreadsheet are going to be pulled out separately. So you want them to be self-contained. In other words, your name, we're going to say my name's ABCD here. I will have in the change proposal ID. So there may be several items or change proposals I'm voting on within this single ballot. So this is going to tell me which one it is. I'm going to list the line number of where my comment starts. I'm going to list my vote. So if you can put A or AC here, preferably just put A so they're all the same. We know it's an AC because you're going to comment. And so then I'm going to write my comment out here. Okay, so here it goes. I'm writing all this out. I need to do this for each line. So if I have another comment, yes, I do need to continue to put my commenter name in there, because remember, it's going to get pulled out with all the other ones on the same line. I need to put my proposal ID number back in there for whatever this was, and then my line number. So if you remember back to the change proposal video or reference guide, you have all of the text on that change proposal is in sections of 10 lines. So let's say I've got my lines here. Let's say this second line here is the one that's given me problems. I want to have a comment on that. That's line 11. So I put line 11 and I write my comment. Now let's say I went down and I got to line 13, and it's a long one. 13 through 16, I have a comment on that whole section. What I'm going to do is put the starting line, 13, and then just right over here through 16. I know this sounds picky and precise, but the larger your committee is, the more time it takes for your secretary to compile, and simply by doing this allows it to recognize the starting line number and group everything that is either line 13, 13 through 16. It puts everything together so that they can be addressed in an expedited fashion on the floor or at your committee meeting, in other words. So let's say I voted negative on this one. After I write that, I'll go ahead, and that's when I'm going to put in my comment. A couple of other things to watch for. Let's say I'm on line 13 and I say, this is the same issue as 11. Same issue, just a different line. See line 11. Do not do that, because when that's pulled out by itself, it doesn't mean anything. So if the issue is here in line 11, just copy and paste and put that issue back in, or rewrite it in a different way, whatever you want to do, but make sure each one of these rows or lines is self-contained. Okay, so don't refer back to, I already said this, or see comment 5, all those types of things. Don't do that. Just go ahead and write it independently. So then this is not only saves your secretary time, but when you're on the floor or when you're in your committee meeting, you're going to really expedite how quickly you get through negatives, okay, and resolution. All right, let's flip back to here. A couple other pieces. I think we might have gotten everything here. One last piece. I can't click on it, but at the top of this page, you see the name of this file. Yours is not going to say template. It's going to have your letter, ballot information, and date. But where it says voter last name, you need to put your last name in. So the very first thing you do when you open this file is save as, and put your last name in there. When you're doing a lot of these, it's very easy to forget that, and you want to make sure that you have an individual file with your last name for tracking purposes. This is what's uploaded to the website. And so when I go in to vote and I have my, affirmative vote, I don't have to attach anything. When I have an AC or negative vote, I'm going to need to attach a comment. What I would suggest is in one sitting, fill out as much as you're going to do on change proposals in these commenting forms, maybe the whole thing if you can in one sitting. But as you fill out a group of these, if they're all together, just attach it to the first time you have a comment required. So it's going to say type a comment or attach a file. Attach the file with that first one. Okay, so I'm going to attach that file right here. The next negative, if it's taken care of on that same comment form, just say that's where you can type in the comment box just so the system will let you move forward. You just say see previously attached or whatever. Just put a few words in there. See previous, okay, file. Whatever makes you comfortable, type that in there. And you can do that on down the line for anything you need to attach if you've all put it in one file. If you have a couple files, attach them in the right spots. But what is ideal is that you put one single comment file with all your comments, attach it to the first time it's needed, and then just see previous each time. Okay? That will help streamline the process. So your secretary and your committee thanks you.